Hi everyone, Jamie Madison here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's card is going to be featuring hand-painted pumpkins. For this card, you will just need some watercolor paper. I'm using the Arches Cold Press, but you can also use the Canson XL. I'm using my Koi On The Go watercolor palette, and then I also bought these watercolor brushes from Amazon. These are called Artegra Intuition. They were super inexpensive. They weren't like extremely pricey because I have a problem of leaving my paintbrushes in water like for 2 to 3 days. So I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on something that I may end up ruining. And I went ahead and just grabbed my pencil, and we're just going to sketch a pumpkin on the front of this watercolor paper. When you are sketching, make sure either you draw it larger than what you plan on or draw it with very light pencil, because the pencil will show through the watercolor. I went with the little bit larger, and then when I cut it out, I'll just cut under the line, so the line will be above my cut line. So after I have my pumpkins drawn, you just kind of make 3 little humps and then make a pumpkin out of it. I went ahead and wet my paper, and then I'm going to be using some orange watercolor, red, brown, green. And that pretty much is all the colors that I'm using out of this palette. I just kind of mix them as I go. It's pretty amazing with how little colors you can do and make something so pretty. I really enjoyed this watercolor painting. I did something very similar on my Instagram live a few years ago, but I never did a video for it. So I'm like, well, let's make a video because I really love this card. I love the way the pumpkins look. I love how easy it is. And I also love that if you don't have any stamps, you can still make a beautiful card just by using your imagination. So this would be great for if you just started crafting or started watercoloring, started making cards, or if you have a kid that wants to make cards but they're not very good with the stamps yet, or they don't have a lot of stamps. These are options that you can do. Just watercolor your image. So after I put my base color orange down, I'm just going to mix some red and orange together, and I'm going to kind of make my outline of where my pumpkin divots are. At least that's what I call them, are divots. And I let that dry just for a few seconds, and then I go in and I deepen the color. And while I'm working on the bigger pumpkin, that gives it time for the smaller pumpkin to dry, and then I'll go back and I add a little bit more color, and then I blend that through. And then I'll go back and work on the larger pumpkin and, switch swap as they dry and to build my color up. Because you do have to let it dry a tad bit when you're building color, because it'll just not hold the deepness or the richness of the color. So I'm adding my final color here. I went lighter to darker with these colors. And remember, when you dry it, it will lighten the color up too. So it's okay to go a little dark. And then for my stems, I just did green, and then I did a darker green, and then I added just a little bit of brown to the green. And then I'm going to use my heat tool to speed up the drying process. I know they don't look like nothing right now, but once you add that black background, they really do pop. I really do like this card. So here is my cardstock warehouse. This is the 100-pound black slate cardstock, and I'm just using my anti-static powder tool and some Versamark. And we're going to stamp Hey Pumpkin. These are my infamous die set from Simon Says Stamp. This is the hand-lettered Halloween stamp and die. I was missing my dies for this stamp for probably a year, and I finally found them the other day. So I'm like, game on. We're going to be using these all year long. Like Christmas, you might get a Hey Pumpkin on your Christmas card. I don't know. But yeah. So I don't have a die for this because it is a hand-painted pumpkin. So we're just going to cut this out. And like I said, I'm just going to cut below that pencil line so you don't see the pencil at all in my painting here. Fun news is I do have a pumpkin stamp and die, and I bought one for you guys as well. So next video, you'll get to see the stamp and die, and that is going to be the giveaway. So stay tuned for next week's video where you get to enter in for the giveaway. I hate saying giveaway on YouTube, but it is. It's a giveaway, and it is U.S. residents only, please. we can't do across the pond, unfortunately. The shipping is just insanely crazy. But yes, if you would like to enter into the giveaway, stay tuned to next week's video. It's super simple to enter. It's not a whole bunch of hoops to jump through. So I'll see you next week with that. I went ahead and just took my Versamark and I went on the edges. We didn't go too crazy this time like we did with the last card. I learned my lesson just a little bit at a time. And then I'm taking my double-sided adhesive tape and I'm just going to tape this down to my base card. I'm using the pull method with my tape where I just pull up, 4 corners, get it lined up, and then I pull out my backing. It works so good. I just don't think I can go back to just laying down cardstock and hoping that I got it correct. And then I'm going to also tape down my pumpkins. They didn't get very warped with the drying process, so I'm very happy with that. But even if they did, this tape is so strong, I don't think you would ever even notice it. I'm going to go ahead and pull off my backing. And I did trim my pumpkins down quite a bit. I wanted them to be inside of the border of the silver on my black cardstock. But I think they turned out fantastic. So I'm just going to adhere those down with that tape. And then I have my little sentiment. Like I said, you could even draw out a sentiment in white or black or use a jelly roll pen. You don't have to have a stamp to complete this card at all. You could even draw on the pumpkins and put Hey Pumpkin and black Sharpie on the pumpkins. I went ahead and adhered the Hey Pumpkin with some little foam tape squares that I got in last month's kit. And then I'm using my Studio Cadia in silver to add just a few sequins to the front of the card. And that is it. This is the card. I hope you guys enjoy this super simple Halloween card and get ready for spooky season. I can't wait. I have a lot to show you. See you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.